Good morning, everyone. I am Pranali, your host for today. I welcome each and everyone for today's Sadgun Sang Meet. This is our 279th virtual webinar. Topic for today is Peace Education, which shall be taken by Dr. Jayashree Venkatraman. Agenda for the Sadgun Sang Meet. Particulars: virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria, invoking the blessing of deity, chanting of Gayatri Mantra, introduction of speaker, presentation by Dr. Jayashree Venkatraman, question and answer session, closing session. Dr. Sundar Kataria, Chairman and Managing Director of ICS Group Companies, Sadgun Sang conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with a mission to elevate the quality, safety, and environmental awareness levels of industry. Sadgun Sang is a series of educative, informative events aiming to illuminate professionals on possible solutions to current issues of industry and economy. Designation and Organization: Chairman and Managing Director of International Certification Services Private Limited. Academic qualification: Mechanical Engineer A. Honorary Doctorate, Business Management. Experience: Nuclear RAP. He started his career in building India's first nuclear power plant at Rawatbhatta, Kota, Rajasthan. Oil and Gas EIL. He contributed in developing India's first oil and gas field at Bombay High since its inception. DNV, he was head of industry and offshore development with DNV for 2 decades. ICS, he is a founder of a first Indian conformity assessment and inspection body known as International Certification Services Private Limited, which is a provider of a total quality solution under single umbrella with a wide spectrum of services. Achievements and awards: Lifetime Achievement Award of NACE Kokon, and received several national and international awards. Now I request Dr. Sundar Kataria sir to virtually inaugurate today's session.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Please join us for the recitation of the Gayatri Mantra. Introduction of the keynote speaker. Dr. Jayashree Venkatraman, her designation and organization: Principal of SNVP International School, CBSE, Rahatni, Pune, and Director of SNVP Group of Institutions. Academic qualification: MBA, SCMHRD, Symbiosis International University, MA, English Literature, Madurai Kamaraj University, B.Ed, English and Maths, Annamalai University, BSc Statistics, Maths, Physics, MS University, Honorary Doctorate, Professional Endorsement, Maryland State University, USA. Achievements and awards: Avantika Sarla Chopra Memorial Samman, Social Welfare and Education, Dr. Radhakrishna Award by Education, Best Principal Awards, Science Olympiad Foundation and Unified Council, Leadership Excellence Awards, Dubai 2019, Top 100 Effective Principles of India 2017, Excellence in Human Resource Development, National Leadership Summit 2024, Best International Principal, Science Olympiad Foundation 2025. Felicitations by dignitaries including Supreme Court Judge Gyan Sudha Mishra and Army Chief Bipin Rao. Experience 30 plus years in education, including 22 plus years in a school administration. Former founder principal of DAV Public School Pune, grew to 6,500 students. Former principal and director roles at Indus World School, Pune and Aurangabad. Academic director, National Indus World School. Extensive experience in CBSE affiliation, accreditation, teacher training, and curriculum development. Active contributor to educational publications, training programs, and a national level academic initiatives. Welcome, Dr. Jayashree ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Namaste and happy morning to one and all present here. It's such a delight to be part of this August gathering today. My association with ICS goes back beyond 2 decades when DAV Public School in Aund and in Nerul then consulted ICS for ISO 9001. And ever since, our association has been very, very strong, and I'm super delighted and privileged to be invited today to speak on a topic which is very, very close to my heart. So before I begin, I would want to offer my prayers for the universal peace. So here goes a prayer. This is Swasti Mantra. Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahimahisham Go Brahmanebhya Subhamastu Nityam Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantum Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantum Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantum Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much. Now I think I'll be sharing my screen. I hope my screen is seen by everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, why did we come across this particular topic for today? Like I mentioned, this particular topic is very, very close to my heart, and it has disturbed me greatly to see India pegged at 116th position out of 147 countries where the survey was done as regards the happiness quotient. What is it that India should lack? The kind of legacy that we have had, the kind of Vedic culture that we have had, there seems to be no logical reasoning to the fact that India should fall back when it comes to peace education. During my talk today, I am actually trying to share my understanding about our own culture. I'm okay to be challenged here, but it's primarily my understanding. And I want this particular 1 hour presentation that I should be having with you all to be extremely reflective on what kind of world are we leaving behind for the next generation. Nurturing inner harmony for global citizenship is what I think is the duty of each and every adult here to ensure that we leave behind a harmonious world. We are amidst war where more than 50% of our countries are part. Peace is actually the presence of harmony, justice, and understanding. Talking about our Indian heritage, have you all reflected as to why is it that, I'm sure there is no country in the world which has a number of festivals that we have. Starting from January, we have festivals like Shankrant in the month of January. February, I think we would have Shivratri. Holi in the month of March. April would be typically of Ram Navami, Ugadi, Vishu, Gudi Padwa. Think about it. Practically every month, we have some or other festival. Now, why do you think our ancestors thought of so many festivals spread in this manner? Festivals actually enliven lives of people. There is a flavor of every festival. There is an aroma of different festival. It actually compels people to come together, to celebrate, to bring about a union of families, and ensuring that despite bereavement, if any, we are forced to come back to the routine. And there is a religious angle given to it. There is a puja associated with it, primarily to make it a sense of obligation to do it. And once we are part of it, then I think the bereavement, the loss of anyone, the depression that we may have because of anything would actually get into the background. That is the beautiful design of our yearly calendar that we have in India, our own Bharat. Having said that, I also want to draw your attention to the 4 ashrams that were planned. What were the 4 ashrams? The Brahmacharya ashram, the Grahastha ashram, the Vanaprastha ashram, and the Sannyas ashram. When you talk about Brahmacharya ashram, what happened? When a child was born, before the families got into pampering the child, love replaced by pampering, the child was actually sent to Gurukula. So the child stayed in the ashram along with his teacher and his wife, learned different skills. That skills typically included the humility in also accepting alms. Typically, the Dincharya comprised the morning of learning of scriptures, afternoon went in helping the Guruma in preparing bhojan, food for everyone. The evenings, typically, these boys went out to collect alms. When they went to different homes and offered their palms like this, it actually meant that they are humbled by people offering them alms. Now, believe it, it could be a prince or a pauper. Every child was given the same treatment. When the child knocked at the door and asked for food, Bhiksham Dehi, opened the door, and the lady of the house, when she came out, she practically saw her son in every child who knocked at the door. And by default, she offered food that she had so lovingly cooked, because her child also had gone to some other Guru ashram for his learning. So thereby, it became a very beautiful social ecosystem which enabled harmonious living. The next level, after Brahmacharya ashram, after learning the tricks of the trade from the Guru, based on the family's obligation, the student moved back to his house to be married and then take over the reins from his father, whether it was a business or in form of any trade. It was by then. So there was a lot of excitement when the boy came back from Gurukula, because there was a lot of novelty. Now what is happening? Just imagine what is happening now. Parents have started showering so much of love, affection on the children. The love is soon replaced by pampering, which actually weakens the child, and the child loses his resilience. Schools have become subject of mollycoddling the child. No child is being shouted at. I mean, I'm not against it. Every child has to be respected for certain. But I think it is high time that child learned to accept small challenges. No wonder our getting pegged at 116 out of 147 countries. I mean, why it is happening? It's primarily happening not because, I mean, I wouldn't know whether you are aware how this rating actually happens. It's not about going to every citizen and checking how happy that person is. It's actually the crime rate, the suicidal rates, the gap between the haves and have-nots, the satisfaction level, all that gets measured. So are you able to link it now? Possibly during our old Vedic era, I'm sure our Bharatiyas were much, much happier with themselves. There was a lot of satisfaction. Having said that, now coming back to the Brahmacharya ashram, by the time the son comes home and then the parents of the son get him married, and then when the boy steps into Grihastha, that is the time, then when the parents start realizing that it is time for them to move from Grihastha to Vanaprastha. You realize how beautiful the transition happened? They moved out, they handed over the keys of the house, of the business, of the trade, and then moved out to explore the world, because they never got time to explore the world when they were entangled in Grihastha. Having said that, they went around on pilgrimage. Either they went on foot or used the public transport, whatever transport. They could actually knock at any door for rest or for food. And when they did that, every door opened to serve them, primarily because every family also had their senior members living out from their houses, traveling either on Vanaprastha or they have moved on to Sannyasa ashram. No wonder it became Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, a very beautiful ecosystem of harmonious coexistence. We now talk so much about space. बच्चों को space देना है, parents को space देना है, old members को space देना है. There was no requirement. Space was formed as it is. So while I'm not advocating that we revert back to the old system because things have changed greatly, but I very strongly believe that let us have this philosophy, these principles to ensure that we maintain our happiness quotient and peace within in this manner. Now, what is stress? Stress is actually intellect without character, which leads to aggression and then intolerance. I think we need to also observe how we become so impatient on roads. We have heard so many instances of road rage happening now. We have seen that the world is coming to a level of highly intolerant people. It's all because one thinks that, we have no patience. And the stress level has gone so high that it has made us become volatile from within. And no wonder we are not even patient with our own selves. Peace education promotes the exact values, attitudes, skills required for peaceful coexistence. I want to draw your gaze, draw your attention to this Porsche case that happened in Pune last year, where a minor was driving the car and he rammed into a bike, instantly killing 2 people. That's primarily what I'm talking about when as love against pampering. Love strengthens, pampering weakens. Parents are expected to be taught the difference between love and pampering. Pampering will lead children to get stressed out. I also want to draw your attention to the sleeplessness that these days children are subjected to, primarily because of longer screen time. It's almost like a jet lag owing to the blue light focus, watching those short reels, which leads to sleeplessness, burning eyes, further leading to disturbed gut health. And then you have stress, aggression, and intolerance. I'll share with you a small instance which I experienced. It's typically a case study. I've been a principal for quite some time, and I generally, when I go on rounds, I rarely enter into the classroom because when I enter into the classroom, I am actually disturbing the whole environment. So I avoid getting into the classroom. But while I was taking the rounds, I was on the corridors, I happened to see a senior KG class going on. There was this girl, she was weeping away heavily, crying inconsolably, while the rest of the class behaved as if she did not exist. The teacher did not look at her. Everyone was busy copying something from the blackboard, and the teacher was busy writing on the blackboard. Now, as a principal of a school, I wondered whether it was indifference of the teacher. I said, maybe let me come back to it later. I actually completed my round and again went closer to this class to find the situation the same. Very, very curious, I knocked, took the teacher's permission, entered the class, and went and stood next to this girl who was weeping. Seeing me, the girl started weeping and howling even more. I looked at the teacher, incongruous. And then the teacher explained to me that, ma'am, Shalini has this habit of getting very anxious when somebody like the neighbor, the class fellow, the benchmate writes faster than her. If it is 5 words to be written, and if she is on word 1, and if the benchmate is on word 2, there will be a panic and this girl will start crying. So normally, I make the slowest child sit next to her. And today, despite the boy being actually much slower, had picked up speed and has actually written all the 3 words when she was still on the first word. And then, because she started weeping, crying, tears fell onto her notebook, and while she was wiping away the notebook, the carbon of the pencil smudged the notebook, and she got further anxious and distraught, and that had led her to cry more, and then she was further slowed down. I am very, very conscious, ma'am, she added, not to look at her, because the moment I look at her, she becomes still more anxious. So you realize what the child was undergoing? This is just a story, a case study of a child aged 5 years. I called the parents and I realized that actually the parents were also not very, very demanding. But still, there was some feeling that the child had that she always had to be number 1. So I think it is very, very essential to ensure that we build emotional resilience and harmony within oneself. I think peace starts from within. आप अंदर से peaceful हैं, अंदर से शांत हैं, तो I'm sure you would effuse lot of such peace and calmness around. So it's very, very important to have that internal peace. So like I mentioned, the phase 1 talks about the inner peace. We need to be mindful. We have to be self-aware, and we need to regulate our emotions, not immediately react to situation, respond to it after processing it within. One very, very important aspect to the concept of peace is a sense of gratitude and respect. I think we need to instill this among everyone around us, especially among children. Let children be made to realize how grateful they ought to be for the food that is getting provided to them on their plates. It's not about saying thank you to mama for a chapati on the plate. It's about thanking the farmers out there, thanking the rain there for providing water to the crops, to the people who tilled the farm, to the people who processed it and got it to the provision stores, and then to the mother, to the cook who provided, and now, of course, the gratitude even for having a cylinder in the house. There has to be a lot of respect and gratitude. Indian value system actually has this embedded. I'm sure all of our families have the sense of gratitude, and then I think touching people's feet and all is also a expression of respect and gratitude. And when you actually touch people's feet, it's not about bowing to them unconditionally. It's about respecting that the journey that has been taken by the person concerned, that feet has actually traveled through the time frame much beyond me. He has evolved more than me. So I respect that journey, is what emotion I need to have. It would build positivity, strong relationship, and also inclusion. So while I'm here talking about gratitude, respect, lastly, empathy and compassion. So once you are at peace with yourself, you have gratitude and respect for others, you would start understanding others' perspectives and have a lot of kindness in the action that you exhibit. I'm now reminded of one case study in our own school. There was this father, okay, very, very upset because he was not allowed entry at 8:15 into the school. He had 2 children, and 8:10 our gates close. Actually, 8 o'clock the school starts. Thanks to a lot of traffic snarls out there, many times parents do get caught in that and are unable to come to school on time. So we have given a grace period of some 10 minutes. And despite that, this parent wasn't able to make it and reached school at 8:15 with his 2 daughters. As was the case, he was asked to leave with his children. He said, I can't be leaving. I don't know, whatever you do, you need to have my children in the school. And a vice principal, he mentioned, no, sir, it's as per the rule. We will not be able to take you in. Then he said, then I don't want to have my children study in a school which is so insensitive. He left in huff. He said, I'm going to come back and meet the principal. He left the school in huff. At 11 o'clock, he came and met me and shared his predicament. He worked in night shifts. His wife had an on-site assignment. She traveled to the US, and he was now in charge of the 2 girls. So what he had to do is, he came back home at 7:30 after his night shift. He would wake up the children, prepare the breakfast, do up their hair, give them bath, get them dressed, and get them to school. And for him, it was a task to do all that. And especially, it was some duty which he had never done before. No wonder the children did not immediately respond to his directions and instructions, and he couldn't get the children to school on time. Now, when he shared this story of his, my whole perspective changed. It was a paradigm shift. I realized I needed to support him. And I told him that we were sorry, that we had not understood him. And then we could definitely give him some leeway in this. However, we requested that because children need to also be disciplined, we will ensure that we will combine discipline with kindness and see how we could accommodate them. So you see how the difference is when you start seeing others' perspective. But you will be able to see others' perspective only when you are at peace with your own self. If you get agitated, you are too full of yourself and you will never be able to see the other person's perspective. So my humble submission here is it's so important to be at peace with yourself. So this is a flywheel. Do you see this? The foundation is the inner peace, self-awareness, regulation, which actually empathy plays here as a catalyst. I try to understand others' perspectives, feelings, and that by default becomes an output to compassion. It becomes kindness into action through service. If we were to maintain this, then I think we will be able to make responsible, peaceful global citizens. So there is a song here which I would want to render, which I feel every teacher should model so that students practice it. हीच माझी प्रार्थना, हेच माझे मागणे. हीच माझी प्रार्थना, हेच माझे मागणे. माणसाने माणसाशी माणसासम वागणे, हीच माझी प्रार्थना. धर्म जाती द्वंद भाषा द्वेष सारे संपुदे. एक निष्ठा एक आशा एक रंगी रंगुदे. अन पुन्हा पसरो मनावर शुद्धतेचे चांदणे. माणसाने माणसाशी माणसासम वागणे, हीच माझी प्रार्थना. Very important that teacher depicts this in her class. She should be able to create a safe classroom environment. She should be able to encourage dialogue with the students. There should be no child in the class, no student in the class who is threatened. This will lead to students becoming mindful. Let us ensure that we have gratitude journals. I know the listeners of today may not necessarily be teachers, but I think the young generation needs mentors as parents. So even parents at home have to ensure peaceful environment, safe environment, and they should also encourage the dialogue with their children. There should be mindful exercises by the young generation. There should be gratitude journals prepared. Students role play their parents, their teachers. They don't listen to what you say, but they see what you do. So be very, very watchful about how you act in presence of children. Those pair of eyes actually make you constantly reinvent yourself and make you a better human being. Please ensure guided discussions with your students and children. Very, very important to have this happen on regular basis. There are a lot of things happening at the global level when it comes to peace education. UNESCO stands for United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization. So they do a lot of programs on global teacher training, and they have a systematic approach to integrating peace-based curriculum when it comes to global teacher training. Overall, across the world, everyone feels the dire need for peace education now. Kenya has been having the UNICEF program at a national level with a core outcome to reduce conflict and improve relationships. So UNICEF stands for United Nations Children's Fund. They also deal with acute malnutrition in children, out of which 90% are therapeutical food supplies. Sierra Leone is actually a country, very young country for that matter, known to be in existence since 15th century, near the Atlantic Ocean, where the literacy rate is across the world. I mean, its literacy rate is the lowest across the world. So they have a community intervention which promotes unity and reconciliation. It's very interesting that they have in South Africa, there is something called a philosophy called Ubuntu. Yeah, you heard it right. It is Ubuntu, Ubuntu. It stands for I am because we are. Something very, very similar to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, where I explained to you, I shared with you about how there was a very, very beautiful ecosystem that we had to ensure that there was a harmonious coexistence. This philosophy emphasizes that individual well-being is tied to the community well-being, fostering mutual support and reconciliation. I'm now reminded of, again, one case study. There was this school of mentally challenged in Pune, where there were some guests invited. It was a race and a running race. Students were all lined up, and then the whistle blew. 1, 2, 3, start. And there this student started running. So while they were running, I think there was a fifth child who actually had started running. Oh, unfortunately, he tripped and fell. Lo and behold, what do you think happened next? The student who was first, almost close to the finishing point, turns back, looks at his friend who had fallen, turns back again. Everyone goes close to the boy who had fallen And they picked him up, and everyone ran together at the finishing line. And then the chief guest very, very strongly emphasized. He said, I don't find anyone outside as sane as people here. They are so much bound with their community. There is no mad race to be number one. I think high time we scrapped this race business and promote unity among our children. I assure you, the day we do that, we will bring down the suicide rates among the teens to literally nullifying it. I have some quotes from Bhagavad Gita here. There is this shloka which reads as Mamaivansho jivaloke jivabhuta sanatanaha manastashtandrindriyani prakritaishtani parkashe. It means the living entities in this conditioned world are eternal fragmented parts. Due to this conditioned life, everyone struggles very, very hard with the 6 senses, which also include the mind. So even Bhagavad Gita acknowledges that there is constant turmoil happening within our system. And it's very, very important for us to control it. Now, there is another shloka which finds its presence in chapter 2. Yada samharate chayam kurmo ganeva sarvashah indriyanetbha tasya pragya pratishtitah. It means one who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects as the tortoise does its limbs, then he remains fixedly firmed into perfect consciousness. It's so important to control senses, to know the senses are your strengths, but it's very, very important to control your senses and process it before using it. Because more than words, it's, I think, the body language, everything conveys the aura of the self. And it's so important to ensure that we process all these senses within us before we blurt out something which we will never be able to take back again. So basically, there is an integration funnel. The values of ahimsa, inclusion, ethics are so, so important. And it's so important to preach it to our children, to tell them stories about it, to discuss about why it is important to remain at peace. Integration of peace education frameworks, very, very important in school education, in undergrad programs. Luckily, this has direct alignment with the National Education Policy 2020. I'm glad the National Education Policy so much talks about Indianness, being Bharatiya. It's so important because I think the pride that one needs to have for belonging to this rich land of Bharat has to come. Enough we have had that feel of slavery within. It's an irony audience that I'm speaking to you in an alien language to feel connected with you. Ideally, I should be speaking to you in Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati. But I prefer speaking to English because I know that I will be able to connect with you all. Incidentally, Rahul Bose, the Padma Shri Award winner, the journalist, predicted that India will soon be called English-speaking country instead of multilingual country. Put your hand on your heart and tell me how many of you are going to like this identity. I'm sure nobody is going to like this identity. We are all highly hypocritical. English is a global language. We are happy to have accepted it, absorbed it, but not definitely at the cost of our mother tongue. So please, please let us ensure that our children speak mother tongue at home. They'll be able to connect to the value systems much, much more when they speak in their own mother tongue. There are current challenges. The curriculum is heavy. This is typically talking about how we would integrate peace education in schools. The current challenges are, of course, curriculum load, training gaps, societal pressures. I personally feel that it's not about curriculum load at all. If a teacher is peaceful from within, when I'm talking about teacher, I mean every adult present. These are lame excuses. Let us ensure that we are at peace with our own self. When we are honking on the road at a traffic signal, pause a while. Check whether honking is indeed required. I assure you, 9.9 times you will realize I could have avoided honking. So it's all about being slightly mindful. So I think this mindfulness is the key. Then, of course, by default, there shall be a curriculum integration happening. I will know how I drive that particular lesson to my student using that value system. I would also involve the community. I would ensure that students know that there are different types of people and not everyone is going to respond in the same manner. Nevertheless, how he responds to that given reaction is also in his hands. So schools, I know majority of times, schools will end up getting the responsibility of shaping harmonious individuals, but not always it is possible within the time frame of a school that one can create. I think it's more to do with the community effect. And that's precisely why I am appealing and putting my case forward here about peace education not being just restricted to schools. Preventing war is a work of politicians, but establishing peace is a work of educationists. This is by Maria Montessori. Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, said, if we are to teach real peace, we must begin with children. Very, very important. They're raw, they yield, so they can be very beautifully conditioned. Global citizenship is an educational outcome, scaling from individual inner harmony to worldwide reconciliation. I wish somebody there drive home sense and we experience, instead of a pause in the war, end of the war. Peace begins from within. Schools shape the harmonious individuals who would further shape the world. I want to also conclude with an English song, which is actually talking about how nature is one of the greatest teachers. Learn a lesson from the sun that shines light on everyone, and the rain that falls on every single soul. No distinction of the race or the color of your face. Nature's gifts are there for all, rich or poor. Love all, serve all. It's the love and peace that's what we need. Love all, serve all. In every single thought, word, or deed. Because love is something that, give it away, it just comes back to you. It's just like a magic penny, hold it tight, you won't have any, just comes back to you. Lend it, spend it, give it away, it just comes back to you. Make it a habit to give it away. It shall make your life full and gay, never to miss and ever to stay. It just comes back to you. It just comes back to you. It just comes back to you. Yes. So I think I more or less finished my presentation. So I would want some questions here.
I request all the delegates to unmute yourselves and ask the questions. Alternatively, you may also type your questions in the chat box.
Thank you so much, Vasant sir.
Ma'am, welcome, ma'am.
Number.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful session you have given. Ma'am, I have one question.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Vijay sir, I'm not able to hear you.
Yeah, sorry, there was a network error.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
please.
my question is that you said that love strengthens, but pampering weakens. So could you please elaborate on this more so that I can understand this a little bit more?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think it's a very, very poignant point. There's a difference between love and pampering. Okay, it's like you know that this is the limit, and the child wants more of that. This is going the limit. So suppose you have said you have restricted the time for watching TV to half an hour a day, 1 hour a day, and the child keeps on pleading, I need to watch for 1 more hour, half an hour more. Then we start giving away that. That becomes pampering. Love strengthens because the child by then would know that half an hour, 1 hour is the time. इससे ज्यादा पापा अलाउ करेंगे ही नहीं, मुझे उसमें मैनेज करना है. क्या देखना है? I have to decide. So what the child will do, he will become very, very conscious about what he is watching and ensure that he completes that in the given point of time. Whereas when you increase the time, you have weakened yourself, you have weakened the child's resilience. You're getting my point. I'm
Yes, yes.
again wanting to draw your attention to what happened with in the Porsche case. बच्चे ने सुना नहीं, चाबी लेके चला गया. नहीं, बच्चा क्यों नहीं सुने? You have not made it clear. I mean, kahin na kahin, I think parents have to be assertive. And parents, once they are assertive, even children will start respecting it. Their children will start loving your assertion. I hope I'm clear.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, there is a messages in a chat box.
Yeah.
And the one question from the marketing team, the why Bhagavad Gita is not taught in a school, why we are running behind the westernization.
I very, very strongly recommend Bhagavad Gita being taught in schools. Okay, and in our school we have Vedanta classes happening, and Bhagavad Gita is unfortunately connected as a religious text. It's not a religious text. It's actually a manual for life. And I think quite a few states are now slowly adopting it. And I'm sure very soon we should be able to have Bhagavad Gita taught in schools. How can we practically develop inner peace in our daily life, especially when we are under pressure? Yeah, wonderful question. I think deep breathing works very, very well. Okay, I think one needs to take in. I do that many times. Okay, I take in a lot of breath. I count 1 to 10, and I know that there are some weaknesses that I have. So I look at myself and think about myself and say, Jayashree, if you can't do it, nobody else can do it. So I say this to myself at least 10 times, and then I start working to accomplish my target, my deadlines. And I assure you, it works. It works brilliantly. But if you actually get carried away by anxiety and are not able to think clearly, what is happening when we get anxious? I mean, have you observed your body gets heated up? When your body gets heated up, your thought processes get clogged. You're not able to think clearly. And when you're not able to think clearly, you're not able to decide. And then you're not able to work. Give yourself 5 minutes break. Do a deep breathing. Accumulate all your ideas, thoughts, pen it down. I'm sure we shall work on inner peace. Okay, and I think having mantras like Gayatri Mantra, okay, that ICS is also having, okay, promoting, works brilliantly well. So let our children also have in their regime Gayatri Mantra chanting happen in their dincharya.
Yeah, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Oh,
कैसी
Sudesh sir, yes,
Yeah,
such a
yeah,
delight
yeah.
to see you here.
बहुत दिनों बाद we got a flavor of your of multi-dimensional persona, after long time,
Very,
long
very long
time,
time,
in
sir.
fact.
And yeah.
Especially, I mean, this was really a performance. The singing performance stays as it was always, like, as they say, age never weathers a talent, like, so
So well said.
whatever. Nice time. It was wonderful, my only worry was in the school, today the institutional heads, and we have all come across such heads, very mercurial, ill-tempered, volatile, and only preaching value systems but never adopting those systems. I'm sure you know what I'm indicating here, which era we have seen that era, once upon a time. And these are the people who literally, today not only manage but govern institutions in many ways.
Okay.
So I know what a tough battle it is. On the one hand, we have role models like that, and heads of institutions like you are very rare. And in fact, they are a vanishing species, I must say. With the so I mean, this particular group or
So much.
school, they must be very fortunate to have a thinker and philosopher like you. But I am sure you would agree that there is a crisis of well-meaning people heading institutions, and so this and it is not a phenomena we see today. We saw it a quarter century back also. I mean, it's not that.
Yeah, I totally agree to what you are saying. Actually, you know what? I think it's very, very important to be people-centric, person-centric person. So, it's, only when empathy that person, then it does not work.
या थोड़ा आपका मैम यार ऑडियो थोड़ा ठीक करना पड़ेगा आपको तो बिट
मेरा?
इसके हाँ अभी ठीक है. नाउ इट्स बेटर. या
Hello.
Ah.
Hello. Ma'am,
Yes,
can you
sir.
hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am. This is Manish Puranik from ICS Pune.
Yes, Manish sir.
I hope we met long back when we used to come for the audit at the Pune school.
Yes, Manish sir. How are you?
It was nice. Yeah, I'm fine, ma'am. It was very nice to see you and hear you, as always.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
I
much.
just have a small say, or I have a question for this. Like कि जैसा we are talking about the teaching in the school, what should be the things taught in the school to the children and to the students. But at the same time, I think it is equally important that what the things are going on in the house, because many a times if we see the current scenarios, like the parents, they do not have the time, the students are more inclined or the children are more inclined for the e-media, and then the parents do not have the controls on the e-media and the e-gazettes basically. So मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि स्कूल के साथ साथ पेरेंट्स की भी उतनी ही ज्यादा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि वो क्या घर में प्रीच करे, क्या घर में what are the different mantras, what are the different things that they should run or that they should do in the at the house also. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है इसके बारे में if you can just put a few words, it will be more helpful to the people.
Yeah, very, very right. In fact, that's precisely why I was talking about Brahmacharya Ashram. You know, Brahmacharya Ashram जब सोचा गया था, it was like the child was not influenced by the parental upbringing. You know, उनको आश्रम में भेजा गया था, and वहां पर teacher was the supreme, had the supreme power of influence on the child.
Correct.
So while I know we cannot go back to the era there, at least even that thought process is good enough.
True.
Let the thought be that, school is doing its best.
Very
And
correct.
let parents start trusting at the schools to do their best. And listen to what schools want to advocate. The trust factor improve of parents, because parents have started, I know, they're very astute, very knowledgeable. But the question is, this world, everyone questions the other person's feeling. एक बड़ा problem हो गया है, everyone wants to do this merit as against others.
Yeah.
Our parents are wanting to even challenge the textbooks, leave alone teachers. So having said that, it becomes so very difficult. It's not about constantly. See, with the information era, the wisdom lies in converting information to knowledge.
True.
How am I using it? It's not always about information.
Correct.
But unfortunately, ultimately wisdom is lacking among parents also. So I think that at least the realization has come thanks to the national education policy.
Yeah.
I'm envisaging a breakthrough, literally a renaissance in the field of education.
Yeah. Very correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, there is a question from Vasan sir, how we can practically develop inner peace in our daily life, and especially when we are under stress or pressure.
Yes. So I think, I already mentioned that
Yes.
little meditation and loud chanting of Gayatri Mantra definitely brings in lot of peace. Lot of peace it brings in. And even Omkar chanting is actually a very good way of bringing in the harmony in your own breath. What is happening, your breath becomes rhythmical when you just so bring that harmony in your breath. Take a deep breath in, slowly release. So that also gives a lot of. Yesterday we had an event with this doctor was here. He was actually talking so much about how he apart from his medical advice that he would give his patients, how he's talking about all this Indian ethos and the kind of slokas that could be released. Specifically, he released a small booklet on different slokas. So, sir, if you are here in town, you can definitely want to visit his few booklets. So it's a compilation of some 28 slokas that can be chanted during the day. So some slokas in the night, some slokas before having food. So it's very interesting. Uh, this slokas before food, why do I do the prayer before food? So actually we are in the era of abundance. So value needing. There are so many types of variety. कई बार variety होने के बावजूद भूख नहीं है. And then we also experience a lot of issues about our gut health. So these prayers, when you actually pray, one is I am happy. There is a element of gratitude. I am happy that I have the fire in my belly to digest the food. I am happy that the food is available before. So I offer it to the God who has given it to me. When I consume it, the moment I do that, I'm able to digest the food, and I will also ensure I don't waste the food because it's a pressure. So by default, wasting also is curtailed when you do this. So I have compiled this, not only compiled this particular booklet of slokas. I have given my voiceover. So you just need to scan. So every shloka will get chanted on its own. So, Manit sir, if you are in town, please collect it from me and you could share it with others.
Definitely, ma'am.
Chapters on Mahatma Gandhi are being deleted from textbooks in specific like I mean, and these news have appeared in the media also. We find very little mention of Mahatma Gandhi now. I mean, and I know I have grown. My generation, my son's generation, your generation, we have all grown reading Mahatma Gandhi and his philosophies. this is something very alarming, I feel. Textbooks are being rewritten that way. And on the other hand, we talk of, propagating our old values and culture and our own thinking and philosophy. Where do we end, against all these global tensions? Now, the absence of conflict in homes does not mean there is peace in homes or there is peace in the child's mind. Absence of conflict is due to the digital age. Everyone busy with their own gadget.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
parents have their own struggles and I mean, today it's very rare to find a family sitting on a dining table and having a meal together. People have their different times and different places to have their meals. So I know that this is a very, very like the kind of, and in this kind of a situation where this particular generation is bombarded with conflicting information from millions of sources on their digital handsets, on their laptops and everywhere, like finding inner peace, as you said, uh, parents, though, it has become very rare to find the parents, talking about chanting and gratitude, and uh, we wish that it happens. And then over and above, there is something going on very subtly. Our thinkers are being excluded from texts for whatever reason. कहाँ मतलब so yeah, absence of conflict. I was coming to that point. Does it mean that the child is at peace with herself or himself? And I'm sure you must be observing some inner agitation in children caused by one reason or the other. It could be a psychological reason, a reason of conflict at home, or something, whatever it is. So you have challenges. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not an easy journey for you all. Like, people like you committed to these kind of value systems. कैसे मतलब, how do you really navigate these kind of spaces?
So actually, one is, of course, I wouldn't know whether it will boost the happiness quotient or peace. But one thing we have done in the
थोड़ा
greetings of
ऑडियो देखना पड़ेगा आपको, ऑडियो आपका।
audio. एक
हाँ,
minute. हाँ.
because what you say comes from a lot of tapasya, lot of
Okay.
experience, and so we don't want to miss those vital points.
Yeah. Am I clear now?
Yeah, now much better, much better.
Yeah. So what we did in our school is we have our greetings as namaste and happy morning. Happy morning, happy afternoon. I am a student of English, and I often wondered why our greetings were as drab as good. Because when we talk about degrees of comparison, good comes in ways, good, better, best. Having said that, why should I compromise with something as base as good? And I want it to be the best morning of my life. So that was one reason why we thought we can disqualify good as a greeting. The other sense was you can never greet anyone happy morning without looking happy. We tried it as an experiment. You can try, when you said good, more often than not, you got a grunt in response by your own headmasters in the school on the morning. But you can't do it with happy morning. Because by default, when you say happy, your face gets lit up, and it's one way of bringing about that happiness quotient in the school and increasing the value of peace. We also have in the morning assemblies, like I think quite a few mentioned, that we have this chanting happen in the school by our children, and they chant brilliantly. And I assure you, children from various religions are present in my school. Everyone chants because they have understood the value of chanting. In a way, this form I have a limited ecosystem, but still is worthwhile. And by default, parents, when it comes to children going home and sharing their insights or experiences in the school, parents also have reconciled to a great extent. But I know for certain that a very, very long way to go to really instill a sense of peace to be perennially there in our children.
Ma'am, can we meet Vasant sir on his video? Vasant sir is talking.
He's here.
Is continuously giving his very valuable wisdom, asking questions. हम मिले नहीं उनसे.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
आपका प्लीज ऑन कर लीजिए ना सर.
Yes, sir. I am is there. Okay. I am there, sir.
Okay, sir.
What I feel key today from today's session also, like there are a lot of things to be taken, but one thing which I feel is like creating stable minds amongst the children is again a big task, and that is where every like the school, the families, they have to put in the efforts. Because if the mind is stable, if the students are stable, I think a lot of things in future can be taken care of. That is what I feel. And one of the ways which Madam has told all of us is like chanting of mantras, hearing the Bhagavad Gita at, whenever we have the time, or at some fixed schedules in the morning in the house, in the schools, and so on. I think that will definitely help the generations and will definitely help the world in totality, is what I feel.
Simple thing, sir. Manish sir, adding to what you're saying, simple thing like lighting a lamp before the culture in the morning and in the evening, which used to be our culture. And going, whatever, was this question now, especially every act of yours. Even that makes so much of a difference.
Your voice is not clear.
Yeah, I'm saying even lighting a lamp in the altar in the morning and in the evening, on regular basis, it also gives so much of a peace. I'm also part of an organization which is called HWPL, Heavenly World Peace Corporation. This was actually initiated in South Korea, and we have regular meetings with different religious heads coming together, brainstorming as to how different religions talk about peace. So it's happening worldwide. So I just wanted to share.
And there is a question from some Daya. Should some international and national organization implement these concepts of peace, harmony, etc. in a school curriculum?
Yeah, I already mentioned that there are a lot of teacher trainings happening by UNICEF, UNESCO. So it's already part. What is happening? Everyone is doing it. And everyone is doing it. To ensure that it reaches the last time in the class. It means such a change. So I think India should be leading in this for certain, with the kind of background that we have, the Vedic culture that we have.
Also, one more question. Spirituality can help to maintain a peace and harmony irrespective of the religion. Do you agree on this?
Absolutely. Like I said, HWPL, it's actually a world peace organization. Talk about, I mean, every religious representative talks about this in the forum. And when I hear it, I realize that every religion actually is the same, like what Mahatma Gandhi mentioned. Mahatma Gandhi had to say, understanding other religion is knowing your own religion better. You know, because it's how every religion talks only about inner peace.
Ma'am, I'm getting a brainwave now, for the last about 20 years, this induction program for, entry-level engineers and scientists in BRC, of which I have been a part of the induction training. So this topic would gel very well with this induction, basically, because now what we started doing there is, instead of teaching them emotional, we had this very abused phrase called emotional intelligence, which came from the West, of course. It was nothing that you mentioned. Basically, it was just a kind of true copy of what is mentioned in our scriptures and the Indian traditions. This emotional intelligence. We had this saying long back that Vidya Dadati Vinayam, So we had that saying. So Vinay means this kind of resilience, not to really get excited and not to really, make a scene everywhere. तो ये बड़ा तो अभी हमने क्या किया after a lot of struggle we were able to they used to have this topic during the retirement of people, emotional resilience, कि अब तुमको जरूरत पड़ेगी. So just about a week before retirement, they had a program called retirement planning. So at the age of 60, they were teaching emotional resilience. So after this entire, it took a long time to cut through the bureaucracy. Now this topic is introduced right from the people, the day people join, basically, because there used to be a saying that if you bring your emotions to the school or to the office, then you are not a professional. Keep your emotions lock them in a cupboard before you come here. This used to be the kind of, philosophy earlier. And another very, which you can say it's a kind of gender heavy comment, saying that ladki ki tarah mat ro. Don't weep like a girl, which was very bad. Like, in America, they would have sued the person saying it, but it's very common here.
Yeah.
So, आप जो कह रहे हैं ना, basically, it's actually, I'm getting those kind of brain waves. These topics are not only worth discussing in a school setting, they're worth discussing in any setting, actually, any setting. And hopefully, one day you might get an invite to address these, new highly competent, so-called, in inverted commas, competent technocrats and
Then I
scientists.
would be honored, sir. I would be absolutely honored. Yeah.
Great. I think lovely. This was the best, the best, at least for the last 2 to 3 years, like I have been tracking this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Pranali, I think you can take over now. I think all the questions are over.
Yeah, sir.
Madam, you're in the school or at home?
I'm in the school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see there is no questions anymore. So we are going ahead. Before that, on behalf of entire ICS and everyone present at the Sadhguru Sangh meet, we sincerely thank you, Dr. Jayashree ma'am, for your insightful session on a peace education. The depth of your insights combined with your clarity and warmth made the session truly meaningful and impactful for all of us. We deeply appreciate. And this session you begin with such a beautiful mantra you sang, which set the perfect tone, and the highlight in the middle, Hicha Amchi Pratna song, was absolutely soulful, and they added a very special touch to the session. And finally, concluding the session with such a lovely English song was a perfect and uplifting ending.
Thank you.
And we truly appreciate the time and effort you took to share your knowledge and wisdom with us. It was an honor to have you with us. We hope to continue learning from you in the future. Once again, thanks a lot, ma'am. It's a really beautiful session.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, we are going ahead.
Thank you.
So ICS is placed to provide you all its research and development, integrated management system, QMS, EMS and OHSMS, excellence in education management, ISO made easy in Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu and Hindi. Our recent publications, first one Urja, thermal, oil and gas nuclear, and second one is Jung Se Jung Tak, fight with rust, corrosion causes and its mitigation. For reading any of the above books, please contact me Sushma Kindalkar. Feedback form. Please register on www.sadgunsang.org and go in your login and give feedback. We are officially closing today's Sadgunsang session. Before that, I would also like to thank all our participants for their valuable time and active participation. We hope you found this session informative and useful. Have a nice day.